Hey fellow dog lovers and likers, just wanted to do a quick video tutorial today and show you guys a technique that I learned to give your dog medication when they don't want to take it. So we've all been there. The vet prescribes your dog medication for whatever they see fit, and you try to hide it in cheese, and you try to hide it in a hot dog and in some other dog food friendly medium, and the dog has an uncanny ability to sniff that out and reject it, eating all but the area where the medication is. So this hopes to remedy that, as it has for my dogs. I'm a healthcare provider, and so I kind of adopted the same technique as far as how to give medications to children when they don't want to take it, hiding it in treats that are kid friendly and that sort of thing, and it works well there. So I thought, why not adopt that for a dog friendly recipe? Obviously, check with your vet before you do any outside types of treats and that sort of thing. Homemade treats, make sure that they're cool with the ingredients that you're using. These are vet approved ingredients that I'm using here today, but I want to give that caveat. I will also add that these treats are not only a great way to give medicine to your dog, but they also are beneficial secondarily for skin health. It helps with itching, dry skin, and pretty healthy for your dog as well. So without further ado, let me break these down for you. So to get started here, what you're going to need is obviously your medication that's been prescribed by your vet for your dog. Make sure that it's in a formulation that can be crushed for immediate delivery. Most of them are going to be, because you can't really do an extended release with an animal, because they're gonna chew it up anyways if you're lucky. But just double check that this is something that can be immediately delivered. Sometimes they're in a capsule form. You can also open the capsule and empty the contents into your mold as well. Speaking of mold, you're going to need a silicone mold. I'm actually using a mini donut silicone mold I found on Amazon. I don't get any kickbacks for recommending it. This is just what works for me. Each of these molds hold about 1.5 teaspoons of liquid. I'm actually only going to fill it up halfway, and we'll talk about why in a minute. I've actually already crushed up my daily dose, or my single dose for my dog, and have already put them in the bottom of the mold. So this one says to give 1 tablet twice a day. So I've crushed 1 tablet and put in each mold, as you can see here. I don't want to spill it out. And this is for 5 days, so I've done 10 molds of this with the crushed medication in for 1 treat twice a day. Once that's been set up and done with, you're going to also need some coconut oil. Again, no kickbacks for any of these products here, so this is just what I'm using. Any kind of 100% pure coconut oil is fine. All right, I actually have already melted that down. So I'm using 1/2 cup of coconut oil. Also some brewer's yeast. Okay, I found this on Amazon as well. This happens to be garlic flavored, great for dogs and cats. They enjoy it. It's not very much. And I use 1/4 cup of that. So your basic regiment ratio here is 1/2 to 1/4, or 2 to 1, basically. It's a 2 to 1 ratio. You're going to use twice as much coconut oil as you do brewer's dried yeast. So in this situation here, I am using 1/2 cup of melted coconut oil, which I've previously melted here, and 1/4 cup of brewer's yeast. Now, it's just simple. You just mix it. All right. So I've got, again, 1/2 cup of coconut oil, 1/4 cup of brewer's yeast. Take a fork or a whisk. I prefer a fork because you can really get in there and make sure you break up all the clumps. And you're just going to mix it until it's smooth. All right, that should do it there. And then, for ease of application, we're going to use a bottle with a funnel and just simply pour in. There will be some separation that occurs the longer this sits, so you're gonna have to work quickly. But if you have to wait a second or two to prepare something or whatever, that's fine. You just put a lid on it and just give it a quick shake, and it will reconstitute pretty easily here. So again, all I have in here now is just the coconut oil with the brewer's yeast mixed, and I have my mold with my crushed capsules per dose per donut hole here. Now that you have your mixture, just go ahead and make sure that it stays suspended here. All right, you're gonna take your lid off, and we're just simply going to pour in. Let me see if I can get the. We're just basically gonna pour about half of this mold and fill all these up about halfway. Now this is important because remember I said earlier, this particular type of mold holds 1.5 teaspoons. So I'm gonna do no more than about a teaspoon of coconut oil per batch or per dose here. Because a good rule of thumb is simply 1 teaspoon of coconut oil per 10 pounds of dog. If you have left over, what we'll do is just simply make them some extra treats here. Just don't forget which ones have medicine in them and which ones don't. But as you'll see in a little bit, they're pretty easy to tell. All right, perfect. Now that you have your solution in your molds, we're going to put them in the refrigerator for about 2 hours or until the coconut oil hardens. What it's going to be, you'll notice that the coconut oil will kind of rise to the top. The brewer's yeast will settle at the bottom. That's fine because they're going to eat it all anyway. And we'll just pop them out and they'll be ready to administer. I wanted to make sure that it was understood about the dosage of coconut oil per pound of dog. So again, 1 teaspoon per 10 pounds of dog basically per day. My dog is a little over 20 pounds, so he can do easily 2 teaspoons. So again, there's 1 teaspoon in each of these. So 2 of these per day, as has been prescribed by his vet for the medication that's in each one here, will be adequate for him. If your dog weighs less, then you need to adjust that to make sure they're not getting too much coconut oil per day. It can cause diarrhea. Things like that, so not really that pleasant. But in this situation here, that's a good rule of thumb to go by, especially if you're looking at dosing out multiple days and multiple doses of medication in this way for your dog. If your dog is over 20 pounds, it doesn't matter because if you're doing 2 doses a day anyways, then if it's a 40-pound dog, then getting 2 teaspoons of coconut oil a day won't even approach where it's okay to give more than that. So it won't really matter, but I do want to throw that in there that to make sure that your coconut oil per 10 pounds of dog is going to be such that it's not going to be too much for them. Okay, so it's been actually only about an hour and a half since we put these in the refrigerator, and as you can see, they've all hardened up nicely, and we've marked where we had the medications in versus the extra that we made for just snacks. So if you get confused and you don't know which one was which, no worries. We're just simply going to pop one out as we did here, and you can see on the bottom here, this one is one that we have medication in because you can see the white spot around it there. And then to compare with one over here that we just made for a treat, obviously there is no white spot on the bottom. So medication one, non-medication. Now, you pop all these out. You can put them in a Ziploc baggie, stick them back in the refrigerator. They'll keep for as long as your dog will eat them. Obviously, we need at least these for 5 days, but shortly thereafter, these will be gone just as quick because my dogs really like these. So let's go try one out. All right. So here's the sick one, Bentley. He's blind and half deaf, so it's kind of hard to get his attention here. But basically, what I've got is his medication. We've got the one with the medicine in it. and we're just going to go ahead and administer this for him and see how he likes it. I'll show you guys how he does. Come here, buddy. Come here. Come here. So he takes it there, and as you can see, he is just licking up a storm here. And again, this will be gone in no time, but this has been a great way to administer. I've done this before for him. I've done it for our other dog, and I've never had them reject it because of the medication in it. They honestly just can't taste it. That brewer just does a great job of masking the medication flavor, and again, it's good for their skin and etc. So thanks for watching, and hopefully this will help you administer medicine to your dog.